What are these? These are top 3 pistol optics. My pick. Now, these are very worn out. These are very reliable. And these are very high performing. Now, I want to introduce a little bit of background of each optics. First one, Trijicon SRO. This particular one you're looking at has over 160,000 rounds through it. Yes, I just said it, 160,000 rounds through it. This one is Holosun 507 comp. I've shot 100,000 rounds over on these models, but this particular one was shot about 50. Now, 50,000 rounds for Holosun is the highest round count. By the way, SRO, cumulatively, I shot over 200,000 rounds, way above 250,000 rounds probably. Back then, I had ammo sponsors, 120,000 round sponsorship. I don't have it anymore, so call me up if you want to sponsor me. Just kidding. This one now just broke, not this particular one, actually, it's on my practice gun. One unit finally broke 50,000 rounds through, so this is why I'm making this video. My standard for pistol optic is one single unit is not gonna last 50,000 rounds. They're not even an option. And so far I have tried many different optic models, different brands, but these 3 are only the ones that had trouble-free for 50,000 rounds for one single unit. So let's go back to SRO just for a second. Before this, I was using Delta Point Pro, and it broke all the time. 2019, they came out with competition model, so to say, basically RMR style, however, bigger housing. So of course, I picked it up, I shot that until 2021 through 2022 is where I shifted to 507 comp when this came out. And of course, last year, or beginning of this year especially, I started shooting more of a Vortex Defender XL. Now, in terms of what I run in my competition gun right now is Vortex, this one, Defender XL. However, my carry gun, SRO, because personally I put the most testing into it. Now, I want to introduce a little bit more of the reliability and a little bit of characteristics, but at the end I want to talk, depends on your purpose, which one is going to be the best for you. We're going to talk about that. Now, first, SRO. The benefit of the SRO is, first of all, it's a circular housing. Some people like the circular housing. However, I have astigmatism. This one has the weirdest shape to it. Almost the dot looks like a rugby ball or football. And brightness is great. They offer in many different MOAs. However, I exclusively use 2.5 or 5 MOA. 5 MOA for the carry gun, 2.5 for just generic competition guns. They have automatic brightness adjusting. That's why I like the 5 MOA. Sometimes just put it in auto bright adjust. They work pretty well. However, 2.5 or 1 MOA, the auto bright adjustment, they don't really work very well to too dim, usually too dim. Now, in terms of 507 comp, I really liked when this came out because, I forgot to mention one problem, SRO has a very bad glare in the sun. So when you're facing the sun, you're gonna see a ghost dot. So you're gonna see 2 dots, one that's fake, that's bounced off of the emitter. So that is the critical downside for me to use as a competition model, because usually you're shooting the whole day, so morning or in the evening, you can actually face the sun and shoot and have a glare on it. This one, very little glare. There's some glare, like a square shape, but it's nowhere near like a circle shape, so I can definitely differentiate if that's a red dot or a simple glare. However, one downside of this is compared to these 2 models, the brightness is not as good. So just like the extra inch matters, the extra button is not there. Extra button, one more brightness matters quite a bit, especially facing the sun. However, when I shot this, I was occluding the front, so that wasn't an issue, but when I took the occlusion off, I really found a little bit of struggle facing the sun as bright as possible, and I'm still seeing a orange dot in the sun. Of course, If you're shooting in the shade or not facing the sun, the brightness is fine. Red dot looks red, not orange. Now, this is what I like for competition especially. This is possibly the biggest window. It's slightly bigger than the comp. SRO is more circular, but I feel like the window size has the advantage on this. Glare is also superior. I don't see much of a glare, which is really a plus. So I have been liking this, and the brightness wise, the maximum brightness setting on this is pretty ridiculous. I pretty much will not shoot the max brightness, pretty much, even at the sun. It becomes too glowy, but options are there. Your eyes might be different, you might be wearing different sunglasses, that might be changing the brightness, right? So there is an option for infinite, not infinite, almost infinite in my opinion, really good brightness setting over there. Reliability. Like I said, my main concern on any optics is the reliability. I do not recommend, unless I personally put 50,000 rounds through it, of course. And I have many optics that shot 50,000 rounds through it. These three are the most reliable out of other optics I've shot. SRO, I had two issues. One that was a cracked window when I basically dropped onto my safe by accident. It hit the safe and kind of cracked, but still functional. It's just cracked on top. And then another unit that was just dead out of the box. I've shot a few rounds and it just died immediately, completely dead. And a few of my friends also had a similar experience. If it's dead out of the box, it's not going to work. But if it works, like at least 1,000 rounds, it tends to work. And that is about the same case as the Vortex Defender XL. I've had two optics that had an issue. One of them just simply didn't work with certain battery brand. I'm not sure exactly why that was, but everything else works with any battery. And another one had lack of brightness adjustment. However, the Vortex have lifetime, warranty. So you can definitely get it exchanged, things like that, they'll fix it. But my experience is once it works out of the box, same case, it works. 507 comp, believe it or not, I've had no issues with this yet. I personally own SRO, dozen units. I have 8 units of Defender XL. I have a dozen unit of 507 comp. Of course, I bought most of them. Some of them actually got some discounts here and there, things like that, but most of them I bought it. 507 comp, no issues. I've heard some people saying the battery tray come loose and come off, things like that, but that is not a significant issue for me. Just tighten up. That's not really a mechanical issue or failure issue in my opinion. So that is very, very good reliability. I have heard some people having out-of-the-box issue on 507 comp as well. However, it didn't happen to me. So it's possible the percentage of bad batch might be low. So these threes are my top 3. However, it's very difficult to say which one is top 1, 2, 3. It's kind of a purpose-driven. You're a competition shooter, you want some extra window, go with the Defender XL. Fantastic for competition. Like I said, sun glare, things like that, brightness, all very good. I am carrying this SRO for my carry gun because, like I said, I put personally the most round count on it. 507 comp right now, I'm not really putting any rounds through it, except my PCC rifle. I put the 507 comp and I've been enjoying it. Now, in terms of the lens quality, that's a very interesting question. 507 comp feels like the clearest lens and more no color, I should say. 507 comp, it feels like a greenish, bluish. SRO is also the same thing. So in terms of like pure quality of window, just by looking at it, 507 comp wins. So price tag is the last thing I want to mention. Price tag, SRO is the most important or most expensive. And these two are somewhat similar in price range. So in my opinion, there's no more reason to buy SRO because these two are cheaper price, good quality. Only problem with the other two is the square shape. So that's the only shape thing. I mean, if you want circle, there's no reason to why you should want it. But if you want circle, SRO is there, but you're gonna end up paying extremely expensive price on it. Well, again, like I said, these two are my recommendation. If I were to just carry, then this 507 comp will probably what I'm going to choose. Obvious reasons. It's a more low profile 507 comp versus Defender XL. The base is higher on the Defender XL, so it sits a little lower, and the window shape is a little bit smaller. Overall package is a smaller package. For those who care about the extra inch of the window, Defender XL. The last thing I want to mention is Defender XL is a Delta Point Pro footprint, which I personally like. It's a little bit narrower, so if you're using like a CZ Shadow 2 and you optic mill it, or any narrow slide, if you want to try to fit Defender XL, the print in terms of screws, it's going to be very tight to each other, so it's going to be very nice. I've had this 507 comp or SRO on my Shadow 2 direct mill, but the screw itself is actually sticking out of the slide because the slide is too thin, and SRO pattern, RMR footprint pattern, they're kind of spread apart. Screws are going to be really wide apart. That could be a potential issue. But other than that, any of these three are going to be good to go. They all have good warranty system. Like I said, if they work out of the box, it's going to work a lot of rounds. So all you need now is vision focus.